Hello. I stopped the microwave right before it beeped, but stuff still happened. So what's up? Oopsie doopsie, we lost contact with the Voyager 2, the sequel to Voyager. Okay, so you know that like space probe that we sent out that's supposed to just kind of go straight like into the universe, like forever? Well, oops, we lost contact with it temporarily, to be clear, hopefully. So the people operating the communications with this thing accidentally sent the wrong command, and it made the dish just kind of tilt ever so slightly out of the way, and now it won't talk to us anymore. But here's the thing, scientists are smart, and they know that humans are dumb. And so there's a failsafe. It's gonna orient itself back towards Earth in a matter of months on its own. But in the meantime, we're just kind of blasting its general area with a, please, hey, please reply. Voyager 2, we didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. Call me. Anyway, this is legit funny. Like, oops. It is the scientific equivalent of hitting send on photos that you invent for one person and it went to somebody else. You done goofed? Gonna have to wait for things to cool off a bit. Now, while we're waiting to reestablish contact, maybe we can be playing with our Switch 2, because we've got some details about Nintendo's next console. Kind of. I'm gonna say Switch 2. We don't have confirmation that it's a Switch 2, but here's what we do know. It is reportedly going to come out in the second half of 2024. That's pretty soon in all the grand scheme of Earth. We know it's going to have some sort of portable playability, which lends some credibility to it being maybe a Switch 2. We know it's going to have an LCD screen, not an OLED screen, and we know you're going to be able to port your Nintendo account over from your Switch to it, which kind of maybe implies some backwards compatibility in games library. But I mean, it's Nintendo, so don't hold your breath. Also, expect cartridges again. That's fine, who cares? Now, I'm saying Switch 2, but this is Nintendo, the creators of the Wii U and the new Nintendo 3DS XL. So for all we know, this is gonna be the, like, new Nintendo Switch U Us Wii Edition. But I do not give a shit. As long as they release Animal Crossing, I'm fine. Quick aside, I'm a long-time Animal Crossing boy. Like a long-time Animal Crossing boy. I've played all of them. New Horizons was mid. Now, don't get me wrong. New Horizons was great. It was what we needed at the time. It was still an Animal Crossing game, and all Animal Crossing games are very, very, very good. But compared to the other ones, like, it was just fine. I liked being able to put furniture everywhere. I liked being able to edit my terrain, but it had a lot fewer shops. It had a lot less expanding of the store. It lacked a lot of the other stuff that made it have like a sense of progression. I don't love that. Like New Leaf had like a whole downtown and you could like do public works projects. There was some cool stuff going on there. I was also like really hoping for longer term support and more events and like updates and stuff. And they really just kind of fumbled that. Nintendo had on their hands like some incredible social phenomenon gaming experience, and they just fumbled the ball because it's Nintendo and they're gonna fuck up online play. I do not feel like watching a multi-minute cutscene every time I want to go say hi to a friend, especially in the era where I can just like click a button and join my friend's game on Steam. I'm done with this topic now, let's move on. I apologize. I am simply very passionate about crossing animals. YouTube sensation and guy who should give me a lot of money, MrBeast, is suing his burger people. That's right, MrBeast has a line of burgers called MrBeast Burger. It was a partnership that he did with a company called Virtual Dining Concepts. In the depths of the pandemic, the ghost kitchen phenomenon was going wild, where you take a restaurant and you use their kitchen to prepare food for like a virtual brand. Restaurants were open to this because they needed any kind of money. And so a bunch of ghost kitchen management companies cropped up and they had a bunch of investors to put brand names on things like MrBeast and MrBeast Burgers. But here's the thing, it turns out they didn't do shit for quality control because why would they? They were just trying to get a quick buck off of a pandemic. And so MrBeast is not particularly happy about the quality of the burgers because he was supposed to be saying like, oh, these burgers are great, but it turns out they were vile. I'm sure that in some places they were quite good. I'm sure they were perfectly capable burgers depending on the kitchen you ordered from, but there was no consistency whatsoever. And so there was a bunch of reports of people being like, my burger is like fucking frozen or covered in mold. It's bad. Anyway, MrBeast is now suing them because it ain't good for his brand. Hey, MrBeast, can I get like $5? Let's talk about the ongoing coup in Niger. It's actually getting kind of out of hand. Africa might have a sort of continental war. And that's not good. So Niger has had a coup. I've talked about that last time, and they're trying to essentially separate from Western influence. There are countries on the continent that aren't interested in separating from Western influence, And there are countries that are also very much interested in supporting Niger in their efforts. So while Niger is saying, leave us alone, let us handle our own shit, they've got support from some countries nearby and opposition from other countries nearby. And meanwhile, all the foreign powers who like to play around in Africa are pulling out and watching from afar, because it's suddenly not convenient to be in that area. On this day in 1776, the Declaration of Independence was actually signed. So don't get me wrong, July 4th is when it was, adopted, ratified, all the important stuff. But the actual, physical signature apparently didn't take place until today. This is according to a letter that described the situation written by Benjamin Rush in 1811. Apparently the vibes in the room were pretty somber, as people were thinking that they were essentially signing their death certificate. So much so that one signer, who was apparently particularly ample, cracked a joke about how his weight would help him die faster when they all get hanged. Fun stuff. The wackiest part is that joke would land in modern humor. Lightning round. So the SEC is suing Coinbase, and we knew that, but apparently they had previously asked Coinbase to stop trading all cryptocurrency besides Bitcoin. There is a leprosy outbreak in Florida. Donald Trump has been indicted again, this time around January 6th, and the indictment also includes Rudy Giuliani and other co-conspirators. Paul Rubens, the guy who was Pee Wee Herman, he died at age 70. There's a weird looking bear at a zoo in China, and it looks so strange that people think that it's a person in a bear costume, so much so that it's actually driving 30% increase in traffic to the exhibit. Here's the weather. BBC News is giving Mastodon a try. They've set up their own Mastodon instance to give it a test run. Meanwhile, at X/Twitter, Elon Musk is suing an online hate research group for trying to do research about online hate on Twitter. And finally for today, get hyped, because the Euclid Space Telescope is getting ready to do some space telescopery. This telescope is kind of analogous to the James Webb in some way, but it's trying to figure out some secrets about dark matter, among other things. I mean, it's a space telescope, but it's gonna be dope. Well, yes, we just lost contact with the Voyager 2. We're also out here sending ridiculously powerful measurement instruments into space to solve mysteries of the universe. I had a cinnamon roll for breakfast. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Stuff Keeps Happening. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. It really helps. It's Wednesday. I'm gonna be live on my Twitch tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, US Eastern, the East Coast of the US. Otherwise, my name is Endeavorance. I'll be back on Friday. Take care and be well.